Assalamu alaikum viewers. I have the privilege of having British High Commissioner Mr. Christen with us in our studios today. He has earlier visited our head offices and we thought that we should take the advantage of his presence here with us and ask him few questions, particularly about the environment, then floods, and obviously the cricket team which is about to visit Pakistan. We are eagerly awaiting for the team to come here, and that will be possible only because of his efforts, because he promised when he came here that I'll bring the British cricket team to Pakistan. Excellency, welcome to our studios.
Assalamu alaikum, Salim. It's very good to be with you.
Same to you, sir. The first question that I would like to ask you is about COP26. Britain has a leading role in this environment summit that happened in Glasgow.
That's right.
We would like to ask you the general perception of what Britain want to do in the field of environment, particularly the cooperation with Pakistan, because you have been allocating a lot of funds, 55 million you have already allocated there. I would like you to educate our viewers about what's going on, what's the latest situation.
Well, Salim, there is no doubt that climate change is one of the greatest challenges facing the world, and as if we needed proof of that, the extraordinary weather events we've seen this summer, I think have really brought it home. First and foremost, that's the floods here in Pakistan, the devastating impact that they have had across the country. I know just how concerned everybody is, including the British people, for Pakistan at this difficult time. But it's not just in Pakistan, it's all countries are affected. We've had a big heat wave in the UK this summer, unprecedented heat really for our cities. So put together, it shows that action is needed, and the UK has been at the forefront of that. And this COP26 was a big meeting which the UK government led, of all the world's countries coming to Glasgow in November last year to really look at what more we could do together. Most international problems, it needs the diplomats, the bureaucrats, the politicians to come together and agree on action. And the big thing which we agreed at Glasgow was to limit temperatures to 2 degrees of warming. That needs quite a lot of action to take carbon-intensive fuels out of our economies, and then to mobilize money, 100 billion of climate finance to help countries like Pakistan shift their economies and adapt to this world of more extreme climate events.
Excellency, as you know, Pakistan has been declared the 8th most vulnerable country. And about Karachi, we have fears that it's sinking. In about 2030, a large number of Karachi will be under
down there on the
seawater.
delta.
So what do you think? Is Pakistan really ready to take the challenge, and you think the efforts are on?
I think Pakistan is ready to take the challenge, and there's excellent leadership. Climate Minister Sharif has been superbly vocal since these floods hit. And for the UK's part, we're focusing really on supporting Pakistan in 2 areas. We announced £55 million of support at the COP meeting in Glasgow. The first area is to help with water management. Now, it sounds a bit technical, but if you don't have the waterways, the systems to deal with...
We have seen what has happened in recent floods.
So we have, Salim, to build that system, and there is UK expertise we can help with that. The second area we call resilience and adaptation. If you don't have infrastructure that is ready to deal with these floods, that's bridges, that's roads, that's communities who are ready to be better able to cope, then it is going to be a real problem.
As you said, Sharif is really interested in it. Do you think the Pakistan side is offering that kind of a cooperation to the international community to meet these challenges?
Well, one of the things I'm struck by, it's really, you know, the politicians can give all the leadership they like, but it's whether people are interested in these issues. And the issue of climate change has really caught the imagination in a lot of Western countries. Activists like Greta Thunberg, the youth, I mean, my children give me a hard time when I leave the lights on, if the car is left running. But I think it's the people, and in Pakistan, you know, I'm surprised a lot of people don't see the connections. So here in Lahore, for example, Lahore regularly tops all of the surveys of the most polluted cities.
If I'm right, you have done a project here, this brick kiln.
We have. It's called the zigzag technology, which makes cleaner brick kilns. And we know how to reduce...
To control the emission.
We know how to do it, Salim. Other countries and cities in the world have done it. The Chinese have done a very good job with Beijing, for example, notoriously full of smog. And
it was all cloudy. I have been to Beijing several
correct.
times.
And you see the damage.
You couldn't breathe.
For people, they can't breathe, their kids can't go to school, their health is bad, their eyes are hurting. So air pollution combined with climate change and these higher temperatures, this is, if you like, a double whammy that we must work harder to address. So that's vehicle emissions, that is agricultural practice, things like the crop burning, and then it is industrial technology like zigzag.
Excellency, do you think the Chinese model can serve in other countries also, because they control first their transport?
Yes.
If public transport would not come on the road, 1 day, 3 days, and then the private cars cannot come on the road and everything, that kind of a massive activity, you think is doable?
So my point is that in other parts of the world there is a toolbox of possible interventions that we know as policymakers how to use. It'll be different in every country, different context. It'll be Pakistani solutions for the Pakistani challenge, but those kinds of discussions, electric vehicles, better quality of diesel, most of the large cities in the world now control the passage of traffic in and out. The same is true in London, where we've had a congestion charge for many years, better mass transit systems so people are not in their private vehicles, they're riding on buses and metros. All of these things are
I have seen around metros, people will come park their car there and use the tube.
Yes, exactly.
Right? Now, deforestation.
Yes.
You have praised billion tree tsunami,
Correct.
on the record you are, but do you think the damage that has already been done to the forest in Pakistan, we can reclaim that area? They were 34% of the land, now they are 3.4%.
It's not just can we have to, Salim, because of course the trees, the forestation, the vegetation is holding a lot of the carbon. Some of the damage we've seen on the floodplain near to the Indus in these floods is because agriculture and land use has moved towards the edge of the river and then it doesn't hold in. I'm particularly impressed by the work down in the Indus Delta near Karachi on the mangroves. Mangroves are a wonderful source of carbon, but they also protect the wetlands, they provide livelihoods for fishermen.
They were seriously damaged, but now they have reclaimed them.
Tasty shrimps, you know, all of these things help the ecosystem.
Jumbo shrimps.
Exactly. I think we have to commit very seriously to these. We call them nature-based solutions. Invest in trees, and in other countries, a big conversation about protecting the rainforests. Countries like Brazil, Indonesia. This is a very big part of the debate because about 30% of the answer to the carbon system lies in nature. In effect.
Yeah, I know. Excellency, coming to the floods.
Yes.
I would like to know your views about the kind of activity that you have seen by the government institutions or the private institutions, NGOs and everything. You have been traveling around seeing the devastation of the floods. Do you think the organization like PDMA, they were prepared? My personal view is that we were not anticipating anything this kind of what we have suffered now. But do you think we were ready to face this kind of...
Do you know, Salim, I do think we were. I have been very impressed by the response. We're only a week into this to this crisis. Huge numbers of people impacted, large swathes of the country. And I actually have been very impressed and proud of the way in which everyone has come together. The donors, the government of Pakistan at federal and provincial level. Everyone knows that in the end, when it's about people's lives and livelihoods, we have to rise above politics, we have to rise above differences and work together. I was in Nowshera in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa district last weekend, just watching how the NGOs...
Nowshera was also very seriously damaged by
the flash floods, looking there at how British NGOs are helping to get assistance very quickly to those who've been displaced on their homes. And the disaster plan, which the NDMA has, is a good plan. What I think no one anticipated, and you are right, is just the scale of this event.
Excellency, there is a history in Pakistan. Whenever there are natural calamities, Pakistan Army has a very big role to play. I'm asking you this question particularly because General Bajwa has visited Britain to have that passing out parade. That was a very prestigious event, yes, for Pakistan also to be there.
Absolutely.
How do you see the role of Pakistan Army in the rescue and relief operations?
Well, of course they have an important role to play, just as the Army do when we have such events in Britain. We had some very severe floods in Somerset in the southwest of the UK, and the people who have the capability to lift aids, to get to cut-off areas, of course, is our militaries. So as with the coronavirus pandemic, I'm full of praise.
So you are convinced that they have played the role they are expected to do?
I am, and there is a entity called the NCOC, the Coordination Centre, which has now been adapted from coronavirus response to floods response, and critically it makes sure that everybody who has a role to play comes to the same place, they have the same information, and they know that what Salim is doing does not overlap with what Christian is doing.
That's important in this kind of a situation. Excellency, last but not the least, coming back to cricket.
Yes.
You promised that you will bring British team after 17 years, a regular series to play, 7 matches, 4 in Karachi and 3 in Lahore. I'm sure you will be witnessing one of them, certainly. How do you see the game of cricket? It's so close to our hearts. We have a passion for cricket. And you know, you are the pioneer in the world of cricket.
Do you know,
how do you see this visit of your team?
I'm enormously excited. As you said, it's a passion. Cricket, hamare khoon mein hai. You know, it's in our blood. It binds us together. And so, I will answer your question, but so much of what we do, what I do as a High Commissioner, is those links between the countries. But the point of the floods is the British people who've responded, the assistance which the British government has given, the funds raised by the Disasters Emergency Appeal, you know, and it's because we're close, and it's because of the British Pakistani community in the UK. That is the tie, and that's why the cricket has become such a big thing.
Cricket is a link pin.
Exactly.
Between the two people.
And as we saw with the extraordinary match between Afghanistan and Pakistan in the Asia Cup, the heroics of young Naseem, the player, 19 years old I think he was, 2 sixes.
He has done wonders.
I mean, absolutely fantastic, and you can see the excitement that is
Last 2 balls kept the whole nation standing on their feet.
Everyone on their toes. So it is going to be the same. We have 7 T20s. In Karachi and Lahore coming up at the end of September, and then 3 test matches coming up in November and December. I am a bit of a purist.
Well.
I like the test match format.
There are people who have passion to see that 5-day game still.
But here is the point, Salim. We will love the sport. We will be delighted when England beat Pakistan by, you know, those 2 sixes, just in the Ben Stokes, you know, chakalagaka right at the end. We're going to see
a very exciting cricket, there's no doubt about it.
But here is the point. Cricket also is a window into Pakistan.
Yeah, it is.
So for me, as an ambassador, bringing the team here, bringing the fans here after all this time, it is changing perceptions. It is understanding that some of these old attitudes towards Pakistan are incorrect. When they see the excitement of the crowd, when they come and stay in your cities, it's a wonderful way for the two countries.
How about World Cup? How is the British nation prepared for that?
Well, the World Cup is always exciting. You know, some of these folks back at home supporting England, they're probably a bit like me, and they would prefer 5 days at Lords watching the Red Bull. But there is nothing like the excitement of the World Cup, and you know, we have 2 very competitive teams, I think, in England and Pakistan. Some very exciting players. Johnny Bairstow's been injured. He's had an extraordinary...
And this visit is going to serve a lot towards the World Cup. Is that right?
It is. Well, the T20s will prepare for it. Yeah. The teams will then go to the Cup. England beats Pakistan in the final. Then they come back for the Test matches.
Thank you so much, Excellency. It was a privilege talking to you. Viewers, at times, Christen Turner can surprise you with his vocabulary of Urdu language. So you must have had the touch of that. Anyway, it was a great opportunity for me to talk to the British High Commissioner. Thank you very much. Allah.